It's really wonderful to be here and see so many like-minded individuals, and kudos to Filippo and Jacopo for putting this together and bringing all of us here together. I'm a surgeon. I'm a general surgeon at Stanford and Associate Chief Quality Officer for Innovation and Safety. In the past couple of years, I think I've seen a number of innovative technology pitches about and around incorporating modern disruptive technologies into healthcare. And unfortunately, very few of them will probably make it to the real world. And even though Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos are gone, I think the spirit is still alive in this industry. So I hope here in the next couple of days we'll be able to address not only the opportunities, challenges, but also the real challenge here, which is how do we bring technologies like this to the world to benefit frontline clinicians and patients. I also am a founder of Surgical Safety Technologies, which is academic, fast-growing startup that commercialized your black box platform. So there is a conflict of interest there. I think when we talk about AI these days, it kind of reminds me of the spirit 20 years ago when we talked about simulation, and there was so much promise, and we felt that simulation is going to take over the world and the educational opportunities, and it still feels that we haven't fulfilled that potential. So I hope we'll take a lot of learning points from that period and apply them now and be a little more successful and see results. And we don't have to wait 20 years to see results. So despite the promise, and today we're talking about education, so competency-based education is a hot topic. It was launched a few years ago with the expectation that it's going to change the world of surgical education. And the reality is, despite thousands of papers published, despite thousands of companies launched, and probably at some point need to take a moment of silence for the money that died with many of these companies, we've seen very little incorporation in clinical practice, in routine workflow and clinical practice. We still feel, and our trainees still feel, that the feedback they receive is non-actionable. They feel that the assessment evaluation they get ranges between you did a great job or you suck, and very little of it is actionable. So still we don't have any performance standards. We still feel that when we ask for funding from hospital administrators and regulating bodies, they see performance improvement, performance enhancement as a nice to have, not must have. And still some of the critical steps in the development of a surgeon's selection, promotion, and certification are done by a few good guys around the table rather than based on scientific evidence, and some of the work that Andrew quoted and shared probably could be used here to create performance standards and incorporate them on a large scale. So this is how it looks. Competency-based education looks today. The standard is, the bar is low, and I think there is all opportunities to incorporate AI-driven technologies in this process to provide more objective, reliable, unbiased, and actionable feedback. This is the phenomena of work as done versus work as imagined is very well studied in human factors engineering. It is very clear that this is the case in surgery today. I always quote myself or remind myself when I was Pedro Ai2m and did my first procedure and felt my first laparoscopic cholecystectomy, and I felt that nobody in the world can do it better than me. And until I saw the videotape. So this is a study we did a few years ago in Toronto, where we asked the surgical team at the end of the procedure to tell us whether they felt that the procedure went perfectly or there was something outside the norm that happened there. And you can see immediately after the procedures, in 75% of the cases, the team felt that things went well and they missed some high severity intraoperative adverse events. A week later, nobody remembered what happened. And this is usually when morbidity and mortality conferences take place. And without objective data, without some machine-generated unbiased information, we'll have no chance of addressing the phenomena of work as done versus work as imagined. This is one of the drivers for us to develop the OR black box platform. I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. But one of the components of the black box is what we call Black Box Explorer, which captures procedural video. It de-identifies, it securitizes, creates automatic libraries for the surgical team to evaluate, and a lot of the analytics there are driven by computer vision algorithms that we've developed and validated over the years. It generates procedural segmentation, it generates some performance analytics, it generates also some probabilities for postoperative outcomes. It is also important to not forget open surgery. It is obviously much easier to capture and analyze high quality video from laparoscopic and robotic surgery, but still a large amount of procedures are done in an open way. And this is some of the work that we did a few years ago in Toronto and continue to do now through surgical safety technologies, where we capture also procedural view from open procedures, including the trauma rooms and other clinical areas in the hospital. Then we generate performance analytics based on computer vision that are communicated to the surgical team, and they can use for certain initiatives providing formative feedback, and obviously one of our ambitions is to try to apply that for summative assessment and use it for high stakes assessment. I felt I had to incorporate a picture from Ferrari after Oz disrespected the Italian automotive traditions with the Red Bull image. I use this often to bring some attention to the fact that technical skills alone provides only a small segment of what matters in the operating room, and surgery is much more complex than technical performance. Obviously, the guys here on the picture, each of them knows very well how to change a tire, but bringing the entire team to communicate and to execute a complex and coordinated task within 2 seconds requires a whole different level of non-technical execution. And that's why it's important when we talk about development of disruptive technologies, algorithms that evaluate the technical skills of the operating surgeon, to remember that there are a lot of other aspects, and again, also something that I'll talk about tomorrow, about the holistic evaluation of surgery that goes well beyond dexterity alone. This is some of the work that we did over the years, looking at the variability in performance, and it's huge. We all know that, and the variability is significant not only between surgeons, but also within the same surgeons, depending on who is in the room and a lot of other aspects of our performance. So without capturing the operating room holistically, we have no chance of understanding the factors that contribute to performance and the hidden dependencies between these factors, performance and outcomes. We've shown that investing in performance enhancement matters, and here for every 10 points increase of the quality of execution, technical execution, we saw 10% decrease in the incidence of high severity intraoperative adverse events. And obviously there's been a lot of focus over the years after Berkmeyer's work and a number of studies that we did in various surgical areas, including general surgery, urology, gynecology. This is an example here of a study that looked at the relationship between technical performance and clinical outcomes in a complex laparoscopic procedure. What is the value of measuring skill? It is incorporating it in this circle of improvement, and I know one of the focuses of this conference is also to highlight opportunities for disruption in the educational domain through simulation. It starts with measurement of performance in real life in the operating room, identifying opportunities for improvement, and bringing that in a safe environment where this could be improved, whether that's through coaching or in the simulation lab. And again, measurement on its own is not enough. Prediction on its own is not enough unless we pair it with some quality improvement and performance enhancement and measure the impact of these initiatives on real performance. And I'll highlight two in the next couple of minutes. One is deliberate practice. We all know some of the work that a Swedish psychologist, Professor Erickson, did in Florida, where he made that concept popular in healthcare, and he studied professional athletes and high-end musicians. And the concept here is, like Vince Lombardi said, practice doesn't make perfect, it's the perfect practice that makes perfect, and there is no perfect practice without proper assessment and proper identification of deficiencies and successes. So here we validated that concept in a randomized design. We had two groups of individuals that were properly measured using modern assessment frameworks, and one of them got targeted, individualized educational intervention to improve their deficiencies, and not surprisingly, they significantly outperformed their peers, and they show significant impact on incidence of intraoperative adverse events. The second concept is around coaching, and again, coaching, the theme today is, or in this session, is around measurement, and through better measurement, through better access to video, we can deliver quality targeted coaching intervention. This is one of the concepts that we validated with the Black Box Explorer, where we again, through a randomized design, had two groups. One had access to their video, had access to their analytics. It took 15 minutes to deliver that. All of us can find 15 minutes in a day to help our learners and also each other with good suggestions about how to improve our technique. And here the results of the study were quite impressive, significant improvement in performance, and 50% reduction in high severity intraoperative adverse events. So I'll stop here, and looking for great discussions in the next couple of days. Thank you.